think it's holy, it's clean.
That's what we call them too, huh?
Yeah, and then that can also coincide. Yeah, that can also coincide with people that can either be atheists or they can be atheists, or they can kind of coincide with, say, these celebrities. The higher ups tell them to act as if they are God. So you got like Kanye, I am God. You got Jay-Z called himself holy. Right. So I'm just saying, like, that coincides. They call themselves gods, but turn away they deny the power thereof.
Yeah, the true power.
God. So, these prophecies not going to be void. I mean, they showing these signs. You just got to have an eye to see it. Watching the spiritual eye, like these movies and music, everything that's going on, watching the spiritual eye, you're going to see what's happening for your eye. It's the ones who are sleeping what's coming. They the ones tripping at all the time. They the ones that are trying to vote and help you vote this society when it's not really good for them. So they going to be righteous reward. That's just what it is.
In 2 Timothy chapter 2, chapter 3, starting at verse 10, it says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Saying then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manners of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" It says, "Looking forward and hastening to the coming of the day of God, where the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, the elements shall melt with fervent heat." It says, "Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, saying that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found in peace, without spot, blameless, and account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you." So saying that the heavens and the earth, that we know it's going to be blew up by the nukes, and that everything will be dissolved, knowing that that's going to happen. It says, what kind of person is what needs to be. It says, looking forward, it says, looking for a hastening in the coming of the day of the Lord. So you're supposed to be looking forward. You're supposed to be praying and meditating on that day. On that day where this place is destroyed. He's supposed to be looking for a new heavens and a new earth. You ain't supposed to be worried about, oh, I need to build this house. Oh, I need to go back to school. None of that. You're supposed to be waiting for Project Endgame. You're supposed to be waiting for them nukes to hit, preparing your spirit for it. You're supposed to be repentant.
God appreciate it. Type of emotion they don't have to, they would be mourning and sorrowful.
That's why I get tired of me having to cuss my family out and tell them. They all want to, oh, why you gonna go back to school? Why you ain't gonna go to school for this? Why you ain't gonna go to school for that? That's what I'm saying. Then I tell you, American life is straight the fuck up and go to school for what?
That's a waste of money. That's putting yourself in deeper. Not only that, but these 2/3 put themselves in deeper captivity as slaves because we already in captivity. But if you put yourself in jail, because college ain't nothing but a cesspool. So you either drinking, smoking, committing adultery, whatever it is, it may even leave you in jail. Just have to go to the little parties and shit that be having. So I'm just saying though, that'll put yourself in a deeper captivity from what you already in from doing the works.
Those sororities make females gay. You gotta do their aids and they make them do sexual acts. Even those fraternities
Pop
too.
their ass.
Even those
Like
fraternities.
kills. I know kills gotta do it for sure. And then
They do that shit.
one of my next door neighbors, like, little did I know, I didn't even know he was accused. And I'm sitting up here showing him videos, breaking it down.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, these niggas status and all that. And I found out that he was one. And then when he finally told me that he was one, I'm like, so you got popped on? I'm like, you got popped in the ass. He's like, yeah, just with a paddle. I'm like, no, man, I ain't like that. You know what I'm talking about? You got popped in the ass.
Popped in the ass, right?
I ain't talking about the paddle.
Yeah, that's what I'm when I went to college.
Just to wear a certain
Right, I went to college and I never went through none of
It's
that.
about the black Greeks and all that.
Because all of them sororities and all of that, I didn't want no part of that. only thing I wanted to do was go get my education and leave. And after I did that, I left, and I mean, because the world is coming to an end. But while the world is coming to an end, we have to be able to sleep, eat, and drink. Because we have to drink and eat in order to keep ourselves alive as responsible citizens for the household of Israel, for the kingdom of God. So whatever we need to do to maintain employment, which is a curse, because God said that back in Genesis, cursed is the ground, it will not yield, but you're going to have to do it. So for me, working is a part of my everyday reality that I got to do in order to pay bills. Do I love my job? Of course not. Do I see it as a means to an end? Yeah, as far as bill pay. Lights, gas, and water, and I gotta have a telephone because I got children and I got a wife, and my wife is very, very sick. So if she needs to call me, I need to be able to be called. But as far as me thinking that education or science or any of those things is worth anything, I think it's all, I quote it best like Paul said, it's done. Everything that I've accomplished in this life that was great or small, when I look at it now, I know that it's done. It's still done. You know, right? And I can't take it with me. And that's the thing. My inheritance is going to be way far greater than anything that I can think, comprehend, or imagine. So I do know that that's what I'm looking forward to.
It's like you got to lose on this side to win on the other
Right,
side.
to gain, yeah. So I know that, but I also know that I do have to work. I know I got to work. I know I got to keep a job because they won't, especially what they call here in America, African American. They don't even want to give you a business loan. They don't want to see you get ahead in no shape, form, or fashion except, okay, you get a job. You know, they got that Kickstarter and all that stuff, and they say 85 to 90% of us that apply for those type of loans don't get them. So we got to work somewhere, or you got to do something. If school ain't your thing, if just working a regular job is it, then that's it. But it ain't about loving the job. It ain't about loving the people, because those people are out to make a profit off of us, people that work for them. So if you work for Timbuktu lumber company, they don't love you. They out to make a buck off of you. And you just there for ends to their means, or means to their needs. So, I mean, when you look at it for what it is, and when you start seeing it for what it's worth, then you know a job ain't nothing worth. But you gotta have it. Because without it, you can go for that fool's gold, and that fool's gold, 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna do how you doing them for smelling feet and ass for the rest of your life. So one way or another, they gonna get you. And trust me, I'm talking from experience. I ain't talking from something I read in C-Spot Run.
That's how you know we're still in captivity.
Right. So when you look at it and you try to go that fool's gold way, you know that, you got the truck out there with the big old 32-inch tires, the doors is opening up like this. But pretty soon, those are just going to be some of the stories that you're going to be telling at countdown, when they get ready to do the count. Well, man, I had a chopper. I used to land it on my roof, and all of that is ungodly.
And you go back, so where did that get you?
Right. Where did that get you? Oh, they took all that, but not getting off the subject of the scriptures. It says that if you look for those things in life and you gain them, that it can cause you to be pierced with many griefs. Right, right. And when you pierce something, you go in it. So that's very, very painful in that retrospect. That if you get pierced with many griefs because of riches, that you're gonna go through a lot of pain. You know, and that's what us, and when I say us, I'm talking about the community as a whole. That's what we have to learn, you know, and they're promoting everything. They got the gangster rappers promoting that it's a beautiful thing to get out there and do that sorcery. Because when you do that, it's pharmaceutics. And pharmaceutics means that you're selling something that manipulates the minds of people for money gain. And in some scenarios, growing up in the inner city, they don't leave you much of a choice until you get the wisdom and knowledge to learn that that's not what you want to do, because that's fool's gold. And so I'm not sitting up here trying to talk about the community as a whole, because I've been there and I've done that. But what I'm saying is, it's so hard for us out here just to be able to pay our bills. You know, and that's very ungodly for a society to grab a group of people and set them to the side.
I appreciate what you just said. Like you can finish what you was talking about.
Oh,
No, I appreciate it. The Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You saying, man, they set us up in these fucking situations to make us, to cut us off from being a nation. Our nation was about agriculture. The Haitians, right? The Haitians didn't want America. They wanted to be independent. Like many other these Haitians really wanted to stay independent. That's why they didn't want America to come in. Because you got it, because you might know it better than you.
Yeah, to add to the brother, what he was saying is, they start off with war.
Mm-hmm.
They come in with war, and they try to end with what they call bullshit as democracy.
Yeah.
So
But that's all
after
bullshit.
democracy, they set up a Christianity church. They say that Christianity is love, and that's how they beat you, because they get you to accept God is all love, and not here is a man of war. But they don't read the scripture.
Haiti seen
Right.
Haiti, I mean, they didn't want that democracy shit. They had their own agriculture system going on.
Yeah, and they actually won the war.
Yeah.
And when they won the war, the way that they got back at them is they said, now y'all, these were people in captivity that broke free, won the war. Then they came back and said, okay, now y'all got to pay us restitution. And broke the economy and broke the back of the country. And now that's why it's so poor. But they had won their freedom, they had won the war, and instead of leaving them alone and letting them mind their own country, they came back in there, they cut off all of the anything export or import, anything that needed to be imported in, they cut all of that off. And then they told them, now, for every dollar that you worth, you're going to pay us so much of that money for restitution. Yeah, America, it was America that did it, it was the British.
They won against the British.
Yeah. And because it wasn't America that was running Haiti back then. It was the British and the French, and they what you call a coup, and they rose up against them and they won.
Yeah.
And after they won, that's when they told them, now y'all got to pay us restitution.
That's why
That's short. That's the same thing they do. They call it colonization.
Yeah.
What they do is they take a certain group of people and they put them where they can put their hands on. So they build them communities, they build them what we call the projects and things of that nature. That's colonialization. They got you in a certain point where now they can control you. And they let a little bit seep out and say, see what they did? Y'all can do that too. But the intent is to keep them impoverished and never let them learn how to do nothing but servitude. That's why you see the most of us, we're in some type of servitude fashion. Not because we want to be, but because that's how it was set up.
This is Luke chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, "And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. Here is where the commandments of life get here to understand wisdom." So it said, even to this day, we still in our captivity. We subject to payments, to be a reproach to everybody else, saying how they look down upon us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they did the same thing in Haiti. They did the same thing to Jamaica. They
Yeah,
did
you
the
know,
whole
those
thing. That's
people
what
were originally Indians was down.
Yeah, and they really, that's what we call them West Indians.
Right, because originally that's who occupied those lands. And then when they brought us over, we populated those. And now you got those mixed races down there. That's why you got those Dominicans that look like black women with long, straight hair. Because when they brought us over, we got with those different breeds and we mixed together.
And then you got Haiti and the Dominican Republic on the same island, on two different sides of the island, but they look way different.
Right. Right. Yeah, you got some that the more hierarchy that don't even look like us.
Right.
They look like them. And that's even in Puerto Rico. Right. They got the hierarchy. What's the other one? I think it's Colombia.
All them like Central America.
Right. This is what they call Latin America, whatever.
Yeah.
And they talk about the hierarchy, how most of the hierarchy look like the cockroaches. And then as you go down in stature, or in not stature, but in rank, the races start getting dark.
And that shows on television. They won't put say for example, Mexicans, and they really got like skin color like us. Think about it, or olive color.
Yeah, some of them are as dark as me.
Yeah. But
They won't
show them on TV.
No, they won't
show
show
the
them.
brightest one they can find.
Right.
Same with like Barack Obama, even though he's African, he's not African American.
Right.
He's not a so-called Negro, he's an African.
Right.
They won't have no charcoal black.
Yeah, with overdose of melanin, as I call it.
I was about to say, really like heavy melanated.
Yeah.
They won't have one of those.
Right. I mean, but that is the root of humanity. That is the root of civilization. And God made it that way because that was the strongest. That deep, dark, look almost black was the strongest for all the other races to respond to. They had to come from somewhere. Okay, they didn't just get a pot and throw something down in it and said, poof, we got us the Caucasian. They had to come from somewhere. Right. But they have a recessive gene, like he was saying. But they still had to come from humanity at some point. Because they are human beings. But they're
mankind, they're not.
Yeah, they're mankind. Right.
Yeah, because they came, once they lost
look at this. This how you also know they were a darker color right here. Don't you know the Olmec heads, the gigantic Olmec heads that we had down there? This is the back of the Olmec head. He got braids.
Right, like this.
Right, he got cornrows
Right.
to the back.
Right, with little bitty things attached.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't get that from no Caucasian.
Right. Yeah, well, we know that the race was melanated when it first was created. That's just that our features tell us that we were made for hot places.
Right.
And most of the world, all of the world that I know about that I did research on was heated before the flood. There were no ice glaciers. There were no none
They
of
try to
that.
tell you the ice. They try to tell you about the ice age and stuff. But that's just a code word for before the flood.
Yeah.
There really was no ice age. It was
Right.
before the flood.
Right. Because they also try to tell you that dinosaurs was here billions and billions of years
Yeah,
ago.
they was here at the same time as us.
But they're finding proof right now. They're finding proof that we coexisted with dinosaurs.
Right.
And as far as the monkey thing, I just don't know how anybody could have went there. But that's all, you know.
Because he exhausts every resource.
Yeah, every dinosaur that ever lived.
They even got tablets from over the world where they got us holding dinosaurs like on big ass leashes.
Right, and they got tablets with the T-Rex. Now this is a horse, and they said the T-Rex not only he wasn't a dumb monster creature, he was intelligent. They got a tablet where they carved it in where he was biting down into the jugular of a horse's neck. And then they found all these other tablets. They found the tablet where a T-Rex was eating a guy, and there was another guy up under him with a spear. And you know, the guy made it comical. He was like, well, maybe he was eating his friend, and it got him kind of upset. So he was sticking the spear in the dinosaur while the dinosaur was eating the dude. Because they were not as fearful as people are today. Those guys were.
Right. We were bigger back then.
Right, and strong.
Yeah.
So they weren't scared because it was, okay, you're 20 feet tall, I don't care. You're not going to come and terrorize my family. This is, you know, and so it was a different type of scenario.
That's what I said, like, we small fries. Now, like back then, our people was probably like 10 feet or something.
Right, 8, 7, 8, 9. 7 and 8 feet was sort of like an average type height.
It's a documentary called Gypsies, the Cobra Gypsies. It's the Indian people who live out in the desert. And what they actually conquered their living situations. You know what I'm saying? They're out in the middle of nowhere, but they have houses. I mean, they're out in the middle of the desert, but they conquered their living situations. Just like you said, it was one scene in this documentary where Apollo snakes inside because they live in the desert. Like the men just threw the snakes out. The little kids are just throwing. I'm just saying, just like you said, like nowadays, if snakes into your house now, you call Esau, y'all call
Right, you get scared.
People scared. So I'm saying, the gypsies, and you can tell some of them gypsies was Jakes for real. It's called the Cobra Gypsies. It's like a 45 doc. Basically, it shows you how people, you know, Jake said that we gotta pay his brothers, Indians out there that live in the desert. They conquer their situations. They conquer their life. They don't give a fuck about no damn snake, no cobra, no
scorpions,
tigers that be wild animals that attack. Man, they fight them off.
Right.
They show that this document, they fight off animals, snakes, and then go about their day like it's nothing.
And that's how you're supposed to be, really.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Because really, if you let them take over, then that's when y'all gonna come in and they feel as if, all right, well, we don't win now. Because you fear us. But if you fight them away, they'll be all right, that's your land, and they have like some more respect.
But that's what God gave us, dominion. He gave us dominion over the fish in the sea, the animals, the creeping things, everything. So we are not supposed to fear those things, no matter how big they are.
That's why I said that the whole earth is out of its natural course.
Right.
It's out of course.
And that's why I say, man, some brothers either doomed to run with the 28th chapter, but I told them, I go by the 30th chapter. I mean, that vibration, which is, so some brothers become a curse to themselves. And gypsies did. They in the middle of the desert. And they conquered that situation. So why can't we? I gotta conquer my situation.
Yeah,
Like I just
yeah,
can't
you got to.
wake up every day and read the 28th chapter. No, man, I'm in the spirit of the 30th chapter. You gotta conquer those situations. That's what you gotta do.
To go back into what we was talking about discussion, it makes sense that we really want the alligators. I mean, I'm not gonna say dinosaurs, I'm saying alligators is like a form of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like I was bringing up before, the Komodo dragon. You got the Komodo dragon. You got, like I said, reptilians. All like reptiles, they're like forms of dinosaurs.
Right, and if
It
you
makes
go,
sense.
if you go to the Congo,
Hippos,
you got dinosaurs.
I mean, rhinos with the
Right, you got dinosaurs in the Congo still. But what they have, they regress too. So they're smaller. But they actually got documentation where they're out there running around. And then you got pictures and dead things that they found in the water that still have flesh on it that you don't see in the regular media. They will not show you these stories. You have to go on the internet and you have to research them out, and you get the news with actual footage, not on kind of special effect movie type situation. And you got the one where they found the one in Japan, but it had been in the water for a while. So when they poured it out, it was pretty mangled, and they examined it, and they told them throw it back in the water and shut it down.
Hey man, they just found what, a 20-foot shark or something like that? Yeah, they found a 20 feet, a 20-foot shark, man. But that just goes to show, I heard something, they seen a fish with a face of a bed. Yeah, it's all types of things.
I got precepts back on what you was talking about a minute ago. This is Jeremiah chapter 30. This is Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. So that's going to topic.
All right, thank you.
When you was talking about how
All right, now, thank you. Melanin rich people,
all people come like derived from. All nations derive from melanin rich people. And the scriptures back that up, like I said, Jeremiah 14 and the second. You know, like they gotta have some melanin group or melanin background, melanated background.
Right.
I put in the Lamentations 4 too. It said the visage. That's about what you're saying, right? Their visage is black. This is mean their appearance is black.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, man, it's like even in the Congo, I mean, like in the Amazon, there ain't no telling how far the rabbit hole really goes in these certain places.
Yeah, because they're unexplored, and we don't know what's over
We
there.
really don't know what's over
Right,
there.
right.
How deep that. There's gonna be places to the earth that gonna open up that we never seen. There's gonna be open places that we have not even had no clue. Hey man, Jake, I never left New York. I never even left, you know? So I haven't been to Canada, I never been nowhere. So it's places where what is going even when it's places, I just know it's gonna be all types of stuff, man. You know? But I had a precept, it was old, but it still was going back to how the Hades and how we was in captivity. This is Luke 4:18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he hath appointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach the deliverance to the captives, recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. Saying, man, hate, just like you were saying, man, hate the Haitians,